Well, if it makes you feel any better, you're like way less problematic than Paige.
That's true.
Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we are trying something a little different than my other videos so far. I had heard a little bit about a new Netflix teen show, but since the reviews were so mixed, I decided to watch the whole season so you don't have to. Let's jump in. So I started the show with absolutely no background. I did not watch the trailer. I did not read the book. I didn't even know it was a Wattpad original at first. All I was hearing was Netflix's The Summer I Turned Pretty, which was not a promising tagline. Don't get me wrong, The Summer I Turned Pretty is a guilty pleasure and I will be tuning in for season 3, trust. But I think society has moved beyond the point of love triangles between two brothers, and it's kind of annoying that this resurgence is the result of streaming platforms relying on books from 10 years ago instead of coming up with new, modern ideas. The cover is also, well, I feel like it speaks for itself. Did they run out of a budget? This is actually literally giving Wattpad's stock image pic collage. I'm confused considering the much better cover shoots Netflix has provided in the past. I expect better promotional material. Do better. What I will say is I was so relieved to see the rating on the show. I feel like teen shows these days are always rated TV mature, and it's like, what are actual teens and preteens supposed to watch instead? I remember feeling like Gossip Girl and Pretty Little Liars were so scandalous in middle school, but Euphoria? Are they supposed to be watching Euphoria? No, this isn't the time or the place, but what does it say about society that most shows depicting teen life and high school life are too mature and explicit for actual high school kids to consume? But like I said, not the time nor the place. Maybe I'll make another full-length video about this topic specifically. Who knows?
Not me.
So, what's the show about, you ask? A girl who falls in love with two brothers? Sure, but it's also about a lot more than that. Now, if you don't want anything spoiled, I would counsel you to stop right here, subscribe, add this video to your watch later playlist, and go binge. Come back when you're done. Otherwise, you've been warned.
Okay, so first we meet this freshman girl. Her name is Jackie Howard, and she seemingly has everything together. And then like 2 minutes into the first episode, we find out her entire family got into an accident on their way to see her, and she is now a teen orphan. Her parents' final will and testament stated that if anything ever happened to them, they wanted her mother's best friend, veterinarian, and amazing mom, Dr. Katherine Walter, to take their daughters in, so that is exactly what happens 6 months after the accident, despite Jackie having a super involved uncle who does really want her. Massive culture shock for Jackie, an uptown girl whose mother's fame in the fashion world made her a very nice Upper West Side version of Blair Waldorf, whose dream university is Princeton instead of Yale. Not only has she traded her cushy Manhattan apartment for an enormous ranch in nowhere, Colorado, the stillness of her new environment is contrasted by her massive new family.
Note, this is the last time I will refer to her as family with the Walters, because it's just too weird.
Let me see if I can remember them all. Katherine and George fell in love and had 8 kids. 7 boys and 1 girl. Okay. Will, Danny, Cole, Alex, Nathan, Jordan, Parker, Benny. 8! They've also taken in 2 cousins, Isaac and Lee, before Jackie arrives.
I don't think I figured out all of their names until the last episode. I'm gonna be very honest with you guys, there are a lot of characters to keep track of, so if you don't think you can remember all of their names, you should at least remember these 2. Cole and Alex, the 2 vertices of our love triangle.
If I had a nickel for every show I've watched based on a book where a teen girl loses both of her parents in a freak car accident and then is thrust in a love triangle between 2 brothers, I would have 2 nickels, which I guess isn't that many, but it's kind of weird that it happened twice, right?
Cole is a brooding asshole, and Alex is an insecure know-it-all. Sound familiar? It should, because you've probably seen it play out a million times already, so why would you want to watch it again? I'm as shocked as you are to say the characters. I feel like Netflix bottled up that early 2000s Hallmark feeling and drenched the show in it. It's not a holiday show per se, but I felt like I was sipping on warm hot chocolate with whipped cream and decorating gingerbread houses with the love of my life. It was that serious to me. Jackie Howard, princess of the world. I wanted her to win from the pilot. She's clearly such a good person, and despite experiencing most people's absolute worst possible nightmare, she still handles herself with such poise and such grace that you just kind of want to see her win always. She is so easy to empathize with that she almost isn't really a full person.
Does that make sense?
Like, yes, she does bad things sometimes and maybe makes some questionable decisions, but there really never is a point where you aren't rooting for her anyway. She isn't humanly or realistically flawed, but she's princess, and we aren't really going for Emmys here anyway, so I didn't care. Alex Walter, Prince of Hell. Yes, you heard me correctly. We are not talking about the bad boy here. We are talking about his younger brother who has made his entire personality hating Cole and therefore becoming an insufferable All it takes for you to see that is how he treats his best friend who is clearly in love with him, Kiley. And listen, I am the first person to empathize with people and characters who are oblivious, because I'm oblivious. All the time, I'm oblivious. But even still, if you're not aware that your best friend is in love with you, which happens in real life, of course, there is still a way that you treat long-term friends, and that was not it. To Alex, Kiley is disposable. Her time, which they emphasize is very limited due to her many jobs, is not valuable to him. Her feelings are below consideration. It's Jackie, Jackie, Jackie all the time.
Stop obsessing, for one thing. You're just driving yourself crazy, okay? And me too. Honestly, this is all I've been listening to for like weeks.
Even if Kiley wasn't in love with him, at best, that behavior would be infuriatingly annoying. But she is. She is head over heels in love with him, and he is too busy trying to best Cole that he doesn't see it. And if you think that's just because of what happened with the mysterious Paige, you're wrong. Alex's contempt for his older, cooler brother didn't start when Paige cheated with him. It started years earlier.
He and Cole have been fighting with each other forever. Over girls? Over anything.
Now with Jackie, he could win. He could finally win. If you don't see a problem with that, well, this might not be the video for you. But ask yourself, what does Alex like about Jackie? Like as a human being with full autonomy and not just a girl his brother already expressed attraction to. What does he like about her? And while you're asking that, what do you like about Alex? That he reads? That he's nice? Is he nice? Or is he just so obsessed with being the nice guy counterpart to his mean, jerkish older brother that that's the only semi-positive character trait you can actually put a finger on? While you try to come up with an answer to that question, I'm shifting my focus to the cooler Walter brother, Cole. Now, before any of you start, I hate bad boy trope. I pretty much always want the girl to end up with the guy who isn't a complete asshole. The guy who is warm and caring and a better potential love match. The brooding? It never worked on me. Until Cole. And I think I know why. The actor who plays Cole was perfectly cast. And if you follow me online or have watched any of my other videos, you'll know that I do not say that lightly. He is dripping with charm. Every time he showed up on screen, I genuinely had a hard time looking away from him. In the show, they call it the Cole effect, but for the purpose of this video, I will be calling it the Noah effect. Yes, they gave him the corny one-liners.
She's gonna have to learn to take a little rough and tumble.
And the stepping out of the pool, dripping wet. And the jerk to every other girl but her trope.
Excuse me if we slide ahead?
All of which I'm typically not a fan of, but it was the scenes with Parker.
If you're nervous, which I know you won't be, you look up into the stands and you'll see me eating popcorn and cheering you on. Front row center. Cross my heart.
And at the festival.
You can do better than that. Bighorns, let's hear it one more time for the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Meadow, Summer Breeze, Summerhill. Go Dad! You still got it. Now that I've got your attention, it's been a little quiet over here at the auction table. So how about we turn up the volume a little bit, huh?
That really turned the tide for me. That's when we saw the glimmers of the former Cole, and those moments were glorious. I came into the show rooting against him, as I do all characters of that trope in a love triangle, but the Noah effect won me over. It's real. So by now, you probably aren't wondering which couple on the show was my favorite because it seems pretty obvious, but you are wrong. George and Katherine Walter, thank you for bringing true love to laptops everywhere. At first, when I heard how many kids they had, I was like, oh my gosh, get off of her. But then I saw them interact and I understood. They are so madly and deeply in love with each other 2 decades into their marriage that the only relationship I would ever care to emulate on this entire show is theirs. Netflix, if you're considering making a holiday movie about the two of them, I promise I will be tuned in. Do not let Hallmark beat you to it. I need my girl Donna booked and busy. Now that we have that out of the way, let's get into their children's relationships because there are many. Will and Hayley.
Boring, yawning, sloppy, lazy.
And it's not because of their plot. It's because you cannot convince me that these two people who are pretending to be madly in love with each other met before the first episode.
You cannot trick me!
There is no comfort, no warmth, no trust between these two actors to the point that it's genuinely laughable that their engagement is the undercurrent of the show. And the crazy thing is, their writing was surprisingly good. I have had the exact same argument as Hayley and Will. The things she was saying, I have said word for word, bar for bar. And their acting wasn't necessarily bad in terms of line delivery. They just were not convincing as a couple at all. If we get a season 2, I hope they take some notes from their on-screen parents. I really do. Danny, my sweet thespian Walter twin. We get a hint very early on that he might have something for Erin, but honestly, it takes so long to circle back to that subplot that I kind of forgot it happened at all.
Hey, are you okay to drive? Because if you're not, you guys can just come with us. I'll bring you back for your car tomorrow.
You know, serious athletes don't actually drink.
Oh.
But thanks. Sweet of you to care.
Drive safe.
You too.
Do I think they could be good together? Well, actually, I don't know, because we didn't really learn that much about him other than the fact that he was really into acting, wanted to get into this Juilliard summer program, was pretty close with his twin Cole, and I think that's it. Erin won me over the course of the season, and I think her personal growth could make her a good potential love match for Danny. Maybe. I don't know. I didn't really care for that pairing that much, if I'm being completely honest. Okay. Cole. Paige. She had a Belly Conklin style summer I turned pretty glow up and decided to kiss her boyfriend's older brother because she could. Not because she had any emotional connection to the guy, but because she's a social climber. She saw an opportunity to climb and she took it. 0 out of 10. Not one singular redeemable quality. I do not support all women. Olivia. Now, while I don't support betraying your boyfriend, what Olivia did was arguably worse. Hooking up with your best friend's on and off situationship because you didn't realize it was that serious is absurdly stupid at best and downright cruel at worst. And that argument didn't even make sense because if it wasn't that serious, then why couldn't you tell her? Either she is genuinely as oblivious as my personal nemesis, Alex Walter, or she didn't care that she was being used, and that is somehow worse. Might be a hot take, but I don't think she deserved forgiveness that quickly. Do you think Erin forgave her too quickly? Let me know in the comments. Now, Cole, this was something that I cannot and will not excuse. I don't care what you're going through. I don't. Not when it comes to how you treat other people. I don't want to get ahead of myself because his relationship with Erin is next, but I will never, ever defend that kind of classless, manipulative behavior. And then to have your little siblings lie for you, gross. On the path to redemption for Cole this season, I'm surprised they never had his storyline wrap up with Olivia's. I feel like an apology was necessary there too. Now it's time to address the cartoonishly bad pairing of Cole and Erin.
Good luck today, New York.
They were a train wreck. Erin was extremely insecure. That was literally the only note I had under her character's name for the first couple of episodes, because for a while that was literally her only motivation for anything, ever. New harmless sophomore shows up, time to bully her because she lives with the guy who doesn't even want to claim me as his girlfriend except when convenient. Sure, that makes sense. Make fun of her for her circumstances, knowing damn well what it feels like to lose a parent of your own, which, sorry, I need to sidetrack and address this because it genuinely made me so angry. This character, the same one who said,
Just watch it. I'm not buying this little Orphan Annie act.
to Jackie on her first day of school, knows what it's like to lose a parent. Not only does she know, she also acknowledges that what Jackie went through is 3 times worse.
I know what it's like. And I know that it's 3 times worse for you.
And she does all of this over a guy who will not even claim her as his girlfriend. Are you serious? Felt like the writers threw that in later because they were like,
Oh shoot, we didn't make her empathetic enough. Let's just slap on a dead parent. That'll do the trick.
and we're supposed to let that slide because... Okay. Just had to get that off my chest. Sorry. Let's get back to relationships. Now, I empathize with Cole. I really do. Losing the one thing that anyone has ever believed in you for or thought that you were good enough to do is heartbreaking. I get that. Friday Night Lights, anyone? But that doesn't ever give you the right to play with other people's emotions for the sake of your enjoyment, sadistic pleasure, I don't know, sport. Once again, was I a fan of Erin's? No. But she's a human being with emotions and wants and desires, and the way that Cole treated her is never going to sit right with me. What I did really appreciate is how the writers handled their reconciliation. She didn't jump to forgive him. She didn't jump to get back into a relationship with him, but she also didn't hold it over his head later on. She just said, this is it. We're not going to do this anymore. I don't want to be this person to you anymore because you don't deserve me. And I really like the way that that was written. I felt like that storyline was handled pretty delicately and honestly pretty realistically. And I'm glad they didn't leave the season with ill will toward one another. In this regard, Erin's a much better person than I am. I would not have forgiven Cole or Olivia this quickly, but it is a 10-episode season. Characters on streaming shows can't hold grudges as long as characters on network shows. It's basic TV math. Now Jackie is presented as the girl who gets under Cole's skin because she is apparently the only person in Colorado who doesn't fall victim to
The Cole effect. The Cole effect. Cole effect.
The Cole effect.
The Cole effect?
It's a very common trope on Wattpad, so I'm not surprised that it's in here, but I really wish they dropped it for the adaptation. He's really handsome, he's charming, and he's a douchebag. All of these things can be true at once. We don't need Jackie to not see it for us to believe that she fell for something deeper. He's hot. Look at him. Disclaimer. My client Joey does not support the objectification of human beings, but she does occasionally make exceptions for certain characters, and Cole Walter is one of them. Other notable exceptions include, but are not limited to, Jordan Baker, Nathan Scott, and Nate Archibald. I will be honest, not only was I not rooting for them at first, I was actually actively rooting against them. I loved Jackie from day one and immediately thought she was a princess, still do. But Cole was the same cookie cutter bad boy I've seen and despised before. I didn't even realize I was falling for the Noah effect until something happens when I try to. And I let out a breath I didn't even know I was holding. From then on, it was personal psychological torture to me, and I enjoyed every minute of it. Every bone in my body told me that Cole didn't deserve her, at least not yet, but my heartbeat would pick up every time he looked at her that way, or like their hands brushed, or their eye contact lingered. The actors had such great chemistry that you were rooting for Cole to get his act together, and so was he. What I liked about this pairing was she was not fixing him. This was not struggle love. This was not a situation where she was fighting him to be a better person for her. She just paid him little mind and focused on her Princeton goals, and he was going crazy, falling in love with her while she wasn't paying attention to him. She was not the only reason he wanted to be a better person, but she definitely was one of the reasons, and I think that's how it should always be. They gave us everything. Unrequited love that isn't actually unrequited.
You know, my grandma said that these flowers are a symbol of unrequited love. Yeah.
Hand brushing. Drunk, almost kiss. Almost rain kiss.
And I thought, after everything, that you, of all people more than anyone, you would know that.
Break up before dating.
Yeah, I want you to...
What, Cole? What do you want?
I want you to have never come here.
Well, I want my family not to have died. So I guess we both want the same thing.
Jackie, I didn't...
Forced proximity.
Can you fix it?
I don't have my toolbox.
And the list goes on. Also, he finishes her drink in the woods.
Okay.
Which is about the sluttiest thing a man could ever do. But more important than everything else, these two actors had so much chemistry. Not as much as Mr. and Mrs. Walter, let's not get ahead of ourselves. But I think what a lot of modern teen shows are missing these days is genuine chemistry between two actors. Their scenes don't feel charged, and therefore the aforementioned tropes fall flat. I will not name names, but maybe if more bad boy characters had actual chemistry with their love interests on other shows, I would root for them more. I don't know. Do I have to talk about them?
Yes.
I don't think there's even that much I have to say that I haven't said already, but to recap, Jackie, Princess of the World, Alex, Prince of Hell.
I think you need to say more.
This is a very balanced love triangle in which I find myself rooting for both brothers at different times and then change my mind because they are both so compelling and good. Okay, but in all honesty, I really wanted to like Jackie and Alex. I really did. They say nice guys finish last, and in content like this, they generally do, which drives me mad most of the time because it follows the same harmful logic of if he hits you, it's because he has a crush on you. No, mom or dad. If he hits her, it's because you didn't raise him correctly. So I wanted the sweet bookish nerd to find love with Jackie. I really did. Until they started dating. That's when it became abundantly clear to me that a lot of his motivations, which he confirms himself, are just due to jealousy of his older brother and insecurity. I think he does like her at first. The Manhattan Henge thing.
Look, it's like our own Manhattan Henge.
And their book sharing is very sweet. But over time, even Jackie can sense that he's overcompensating for something, even if she can't quite put a finger on it. But if he truly cared about her, he wouldn't relish in her disappointment, even if it's with Cole. He wouldn't enjoy seeing her upset over something Cole did or didn't do.
You didn't need to skip practice.
No problem. I wanted to. Besides, what were you gonna do, wait for Cole? He's not exactly the poster child of dependability. Back her up!
He wouldn't be frustrated when Cole was doing something nice for her if his feelings weren't rooted in insecurity. Okay, I'm sorry. I physically cannot talk about this boy any longer. I'm so sorry. I just can't do it. I tried my best. Do I wish him the worst? Honestly, no. I don't like him because I think he's Dawson Leary's newest reincarnation. But I think with some growth, and now that he is working on his relationship with Cole, I could see him eventually becoming a better person. I'm just not falling for the good guy act right now. I wish I could explain to you the pure joy I experienced when I first saw this boy appear on my screen. I have been a fan since he played Farkle, and my only critique here is that I wish they used you more. Nathan's relationship with Skylar felt like an afterthought in many ways. The whole Skylar song debacle, which, by the way, I immediately saved to 3 different playlists on Spotify, was so unnecessarily drawn out. The whole half-episode conflict of Skylar not wanting Nathan at his family's Thanksgiving event just felt like conflict for the sake of conflict and not for the sake of actual character development or plot movement. Though I really liked both characters and was initially excited during the flirting phase, they did not have an ounce of chemistry. Unlike almost every other character in the show, Nathan's best scene wasn't with a love interest at all. It was the one in the hospital with his parents.
Does this mean I'm gonna have more seizures?
It might, but the medication should help with that.
I'm gonna have to take pills forever.
I honestly, I don't know. Maybe. Look, honey, it's gonna be a little bit of a road, but we're gonna get through it together. Are you okay? Mm-hmm. It's okay. We're here. We're here.
I am not exaggerating when I say it was so well acted that it genuinely brought me and my mom to tears, and it kind of didn't feel like it fit into the show because it was just that good. They had 3 of the strongest actors in the whole cast in a hospital room together and made so much magic that I kind of started wishing that's what the show was actually about. If I didn't like Jackie so much, I might have argued for this show to get the Bridgerton treatment and we shift focus to a new Walter brother every season. But to be honest, I probably wouldn't be that interested in a season that wasn't about Cole or Nathan, so maybe that's not that good of an idea. Am I done? Did I get every Walter boy relationship? At this point, I don't even care if I missed one. They have so many kids. Unanswered questions. I only have 2 right now, but if you had any from the season, please let me know in the comments. Okay, first, how old were they? That question drove me crazy the entire run of the season. We know Danny and Cole are twins, but we also have Nathan and Alex in high school at the same time. How did that happen? Especially with the big jump between Will and the twins, it's at least 6 years. Maybe those gaps don't exist in the books where the Walter clan clocks in at 12. Yes, 12 kids. You thought 8 was a lot, didn't you? But it still feels so odd that there are so many kids in high school at the same time. Who is older, Nathan or Alex? I thought Alex might be a sophomore because he has classes with Jackie and we know Jackie's a sophomore. But the older 2 brothers definitely aren't seniors. Nathan is maybe a freshman? Honestly, he should have been twins with Cole because those are the 2 brothers in the entire family who look the most alike. Also, who the hell was Morgan?
Who's it?
It's Tara.
If it's another potential love interest for Hayley who doesn't make everything about work all of the time, I'm sorry, I might have to look the other way. Sometimes I do support women's wrongs. Honestly, I started this show expecting to hate it, but I ended up enjoying it a lot more than expected. Netflix has a nasty habit of starting new teen shows, setting them up for a second season, and then never renewing them, which I really hope doesn't happen here. Though I think that this finale could serve as a pretty solid series finale, unlike some of the other cliffhanger finales that Netflix is known for with their other teen shows. The assumption would be that given that show-stopping finale kiss, Jackie and Alex break up at some point, Cole and Jackie find a way back to each other eventually, and Will's new business with Uncle Richard blows up, effectively also blowing up his new marriage with Hayley. There are other possible storylines for season 2 that I would be happy to see explored. Like, what's going on with the guidance counselor's love life? Although Netflix, I'm going to hold your hand while I say this. If you so much as make George Walter look at another woman next season, I will be canceling my subscription to your site immediately. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked anything you saw, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button below so you can be notified for all future videos. Also, if you want to see a breakdown like this one for another TV show or movie, please let me know in the comments. I had a lot of fun working with this format and would love to do it again.